My name is Jasmine Bass, and I am an ex-exotic dancer / prostitute. My story is I started dancing in 2005. I began to dance, and then I began to move to different states dancing. I was with a pimp, and I ended up leaving him with nothing. I came back to Detroit, Michigan, and started dancing again. And then my money began to slow up because I began to gain weight. I had my child, I went back, and I began to just lose money. Because I wasn't drinking, I wasn't smoking and going and having sex with men, so they wouldn't give me money. My mental state was just so depressed where I was gaining weight. And one day my friend told me, he said, Jasmine, he said, you are so much better than this. He said, why are you still doing this? And I said, I don't know what else to do. He said, listen, I said, I want to get out of it, but it's hard. He said, Jasmine, if you clean your locker today,
come on.
and never look back, God is going to do something great for you. That day I cleaned out my locker and I never looked back. Because I was a little hard-headed, I began to go back to escorting. I started making money escorting as a BBW because, you know, I was a little on the heavy side, okay? One day this man...
Take your time.
He took the money from me. He said, I hate people like you. Why are you doing this? I said, I have a child, and I need to take care of him. He said, well, if you have a child, then you really shouldn't be doing this. He had a gun in his hand at the time. I said, please, just take the money and leave me alone. Do not kill me, please. I got a son, please. He said, no, I hate you. And he put that gun to my head. And he pulled that trigger. But God.
Hey. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yes. Yes. Hallelujah.
But God jammed that bullet.
Yes.
And I don't know what he seen behind me, but it must have been an angel from God. Because that man's eyes got big and he backed up and ran out that room. I said, God loves me.
Yes, he does.
And for years, I couldn't understand why I was going through so much stuff. And one day, God sat me down. He said, your pain is another woman's blessing. And that's why I came up with the group Queens with Power, because I want every woman to know that you are a queen and you have power. And I am encouraging them, and I'm speaking to women who's been in abusive relationships, who've been pimped before, who've been molested before, who has been through dancing and don't know how to get out of it. And so I am just so blessed just to be here. I remember last year I came and I was listening to the other women's stories and I said, oh man, I want to do that. I want to share my story. But when she called me, she reached out to me and said, Jasmine, I want you to come and share your story. I said, God hears my prayers. And I am a single mother, but my son is an entrepreneur at 12 years old with 2 businesses. So I didn't just use the entrepreneurship for me, but my son loved to eat snacks. I said, well, Troy, you can just sell them. So he has his own snack shop called Jordan Snackables, and he has his own clothing line called To the Nation. Because my son is a prophet, just like I am a prophetess. And I'm not a person that's big on titles, but I know what God called me to do.
All right.
And 3 people prophesied over my son and said, you're a prophet. And when he was thinking of his clothing line, and God woke me up and he said, call to the nations, call to the nations, call to the nations. I kept saying, God, why you keep saying that? Okay, I know we call. What you want me to do? He said, no, that's going to be his clothing line. He said, brand it now. And so now my son has his own clothing line called To the Nations. I'm also a big author. So happy that I'm able to preach the word and
Yes,
be able to share the
yes,
information and share my story of the things that I have experienced. Because there's so many young women that is lost and do not have no one. So I'm just blessed to be here to share this with you guys. And I'm just blessed that God is using me in such a mighty way. Thank y'all for having me. Shamika, thank you so much for coming here, but thank you. I love you all.